Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, been holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing. If you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for
Hello, everybody. I had to use a different browser today for YouTube reasons. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now it seems like it's working. I hope everybody's doing well today. Mama Llama, welcome. If you are wanting to do memberships on the iPhone, you can't. And I figured out why. Hi, Drunk Beaver Jonathan. Texas is hot, baby. I've figured out that YouTube Daddy takes his 30%, and then but Apple Daddy also takes his percentage, but I don't think that YouTube Daddy allows Apple Daddy to take the percentage from the membership. So they were just like, well, we're just not going to let you do memberships off of iPhone. That's the best I could figure out thus far. I hope everybody's doing well. So to get around that, you can go on your use a browser that's not Safari on your iPhone, log in manually to YouTube, use the desktop version of the site, and then you should be able to do it. But just saying. So I hope everybody's doing well today. We have a lot of court to watch, which is why I had to get going right away. Hate to miss any of members only over on Credence and Mikey, but work has to be done. So we will continue. Did you guys notice the thumbnail is a couple getting married? I was like, that's a court. That's one of my court channels, like that I'm watching. And then, oh, it ended. Oh, good. Okay. Anyways, I was like, are these people getting married in the courthouse? That's not something we often see, even though it is something that tends to happen in courts. So I thought, you know what, Paisley, let's just see what that's like. So also, I would like to ask you guys, is there any difference in like the way I sound or look today? Because like I said, I'm using a different browser and things are different, but nothing's changed like equipment. I'm seeing that I'm fading a lot here, but luckily my like snow white skin sort of stands out against the green screen. But I just found it so weird. Like everything's just a little bit different. Oh, MB, were you here last night? Nutso case about the Magic Mushrooms Church in Texas. You should definitely watch it. My cleavage disappeared. It's still here. I have to like not heading to the beach exactly. Oh, thank you, Jonathan. I'm really glad about that. It really sounds good. Okay, great. Maybe this was for the better. I've had a sad day because again my Fitbit is broken, gone, kaput. It's not fixing. I've done all the things I could think to fix it. I know that case was insane. Nuts. And then today my browser stopped working and YouTube Daddy was like, you have 3 more chances and then I'm gonna turn you into a goon. No, that's from that nursery rhyme or that children's story. But YouTube Daddy did have a problem with my I know, I still have the notes right here that I wrote. I have the names. I went and looked it up later, and, I don't know. Um, so I keep looking. I go back every single day. I, um I look at all of those cases and try and like, today I downloaded, I'm not joking you, well, I exceeded the 15 on that site. Yeah, I downloaded at least, like, 30 different hearings today. Um, and I do that almost every day. I have a hoarding problem when it comes to court hearings, apparently, I've realized recently. But what I've learned, I actually learned this because somebody emailed me about their case that we were trying to follow up on, but they never appeared again. And they had emailed me asking me to take the case down, separate story. And they they explained that they had come to an agreement, and so there was no more of the trial that happened because they were able to come to an agreement. And that actually happens quite often after one day in court when some of the testimony has got out and perhaps the lawyer is able to get through to their client a little bit more about why it is so imperative to not leave it in the hands of the court, but rather make an agreement. Because as we hear judges say time and time and time again, they have to follow the law and they are sometimes um, not not able to make a satisfactory resolution. A lot of the time, both people that come to court are unhappy with the resolution. Hector, I have not enough. Not enough. Oh, you like bald KCC. Uh, Honestly, what I do is I upload the videos onto my editing my editing suite, we'll call it, and then I'm able to delete it from the computer. Ideally, I would actually ideally, if I had the money, I would subscribe to um Backblaze. Not a sponsor yet. I'd love them to be a sponsor, but if you are a content creator, Backblaze is a backup service where they automatically back up from your computer to their own servers, and then when you need it or if you want it, they'll actually just mail you a hard drive of everything, and it's unlimited in the sense that you can, especially for like content creators, when you have a lot of court or you have a lot of source videos, it can get overwhelming very fast. Backblaze has no limit in terms of the amount that you're allowed to store, which is pretty cool. So again, hashtag not a sponsor yet. Maybe one day, I would hope. Um, Tell me what you guys had for dinner tonight. If you didn't like what you had for dinner, tell me what you wish you had for dinner. I made a delicious recipe this week called herb and garlic corn. That was so good. I want to share it with you guys because I think I might make it again tonight for myself. I don't know if they'll host your fetish videos, William. That's a good question, actually. I do recommend reading the terms and conditions. If I can sponsor them, Vicky, I don't have any money to sponsor anybody. I know what you mean. No, I'm not. I'm probably not at the sponsorship levels yet. But anyways, okay, so this corn recipe is so good and so simple and easy. I want to tell you about it. It is frozen corn, herb and garlic cream cheese, a little bit of butter, garlic, salt and pepper, and a little bit of cheddar cheese on top. So you first melt the cream cheese and the butter together, not fully, just soften it, make it a little bit stirrable. Then you put in your garlic and salt and pepper, and then you put in the corn, which is frozen. It will refreeze all of that stuff that you just melted, but it's okay. Stir it up. Put it into a greased baking pan. and then sprinkle the cheese over top, pop it in the oven for at 350 for like 25 minutes until it's bubbling on the side. Oh my God. I thought it was delicious. One of the children in my house uh, said it was disgusting. And I said, "You're wrong." And we got in an argument. And I said, "No, objectively, that was delicious. Like, I'm sorry, but they ain't, it's absolutely good. I'm sorry if you don't like corn. That's not my problem. This is delicious corn." Anyways, I would love it if Blazy Susan sponsored me. I mean, I have directly impacted Hector to buy Blazy Susans, I think. So I sold that kid once. I mean, lucky it's not even mine. It's just a kid that lives in this house. It's my roommate's kid. And I guess I used to be like, I mean, we used to date, so I've been around for a long time. But and actually when um we used to live in a different house, and the my daughter and him are very close in age. And I remember we made corn one night and he threw a hissy fit. He wouldn't eat it, and he like had a meltdown about corn. Maybe I should have remembered that before I made the corn. Obviously not music. I'm gonna give you a pass because it was your birthday yesterday. Right? Right? Although actually that does remind me, it's Friday night. Uh Apparently I wrote this wrong. Pardon me. Okay, my ex-boyfriend is 10 years older than me. Our children are around the same age. They are around 6 months apart. That's better worded. Um, so he was the one that was delayed in having kids slightly, I guess. Um, Anyways, we do not have kids together. We don't. I only have one kid, my daughter from my first marriage, my ex-husband who recently got remarried this month. Congratulations. Um, yeah, no, I just have the one daughter. Uh, and and I always go for older guys. I don't know that I've ever dated a younger guy than me. I'm really thinking I could get out my list. I bet I've slept with a guy that's younger than me, but I don't know that I've dated one. I have a list though. I keep a list. Um, I told you guys, or I've told you before, on Fridays here in this house, it's guys' night. My roommate and his friends hang out and be guys or do whatever. But tonight they seem to want to go out on the deck, which is through my room. Um, and so I may be interrupted. We together may be interrupted. I don't think so. I don't know. You guys are hilarious. Anyways, let what a shock they want to go through my room. No, they don't want to hang out with me, believe me. Um Anyways, like I said, we're gonna watch a little bit of a wedding. Let's see what happens. They look so cute. Is there no audio? I am running an OnlyFans. They know that. I don't look how cute they are. It's so sweet. I don't think there is audio, but that's okay. We'll just watch it for now. I think it's so sweet. They're dressed up all nice. Um, Mama Llama, when you got married in the court, did you get married in a courthouse? Or was it like I always thought it was just like going to the front desk and getting the paperwork. I don't know. Also, I've learned you never ask if somebody's pregnant, never ever, but, like, if I was to ask if she's pregnant, it would be a bad idea, right? Um, they look sorta sweet. She is wearing white. Okay, let me just look. Anyways, I put this on the thumbnail because I thought it was cool, but oh, yeah, you can just he looks more pregnant than she is. I know, and he's I don't think she is. I don't think she is either, actually. It was just the way she was holding her belly there, like, or her body. Um, Interesting. Maybe they're looking for something. I don't know what they're doing. No, William, that's not what's happening. Oh, he has a tiny little man bun. Oh, red flag, girl. Red flag, red flag. Um, in the courthouse, the judge made you wait 12 minutes. So you got married at 12:12 on 12:12. Oh, I like that. I like that. Um, I had to go acquire a marriage license in the great state of Texas because that is indeed where I was married. And in Texas, there is a 3-day waiting period, or there used to be a 3-day waiting period in order to get married. The only exceptions to that are if you are um, in the military, I believe. And so we actually had to show up in Texas 3 days ahead of our wedding, uh, scheduled wedding, just to go and get the marriage license at the city hall or whatever. When we went down to get it, they wouldn't accept our Canadian passports as ID. I had to talk to a manager. I had to be a knee rat. I had to be a reverse Karen in order to get them to understand that our passports were absolutely 1000% legal and um, worthy of issuing the license. Uh, so, I mean, for me, it was sort of great. Oh, look at them. They're getting their little picture taken. For me, it was sort of great because I don't, I didn't wear did I wear a veil? Did I wear a veil? Oh my God. I'm gonna have to look. I don't think I wore a veil. I didn't. No, no veil. No veil. I didn't wear a veil. I had a very nice piece in my hair that was sort of like jeweled and sparkly, but I did not wear a veil. Wow, that was weird. That took me a long time to remember. Um I was just thinking, I guess I don't have visual imagery, so I don't know, Lisa. There should be, but they don't have anything sound. They don't have any sound. Or sorry, Vicky. I just read Mama Llama's comment. Lisa said Lisa meant Vicky. William, I hope not. Who's that lady? Is she the photographer? Is that the photographer? Ooh, we should look at some really pretty pictures of me when I got married. I still remember I spent so much money on those pictures. Never get to show them to anybody. Um, just sad. Just sad. Oh, something's happening. What's happening? I'm gonna be quiet. That's what. Oh, look at that. Creed framing. Look at me creed framing. Okay, look at how far down they put the camera. A kitsch frame, right? A kitsch frame. Okay, come on. Are they gonna walk down the aisle? Like, what's happening? I don't want to leave until we see it, but I also do. Um, is he right? I don't know. I like her red polka dots. I also have a red polka dotted dress. That is pretty good flooring. I'll tell you, it's not gonna show it. Oh, here she comes. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Judge, is she gonna turn on the audio? I would be so pissed. Could you imagine if you had like family, friends watching abroad? Hi, Wendy. They look really happy. They all look really happy. That's good. Judge, I swear to God, if you fuck this up, they will never forget it. I will never forget it. Hold her hand. Where do you think they went out for dinner after? Where do you think they went out for dinner? Come on, Judge. Turn it on. Let me shut up before we go watch them. I just want to say something here, and this is a little bit ironic. Uh, After this wedding part, if it doesn't get any audio, I will scroll through it. We will get moving. Now I'm gonna be really fucking hungry. Um, but we are gonna be watching uh divorce, child support, child custody cases after this. A little bit ironic. Yeah, I get it. But that's the way it goes. Um, Anyways, let's keep going. Come on, unmute, Judge. Stop moving the camera. I can't believe they've done this. They ruined their whole wedding. They ruined the whole thing because they didn't have any fucking audio. Oh, that's actually really, really. Listen, here, if I can tell you anything and you want to class up your wedding a little bit, go ahead down to Staples, get some cardstock, and print your vows out on the cardstock. Okay? It'll immediately class it up. Immediately class it up. Um, Memorize it? I don't know about memorizing it. I've read some or I've watched some horrific. Those are her flowers. She's very happy with them. This is sweet. We can pretend we know what she's saying. I love you so much. I'm so glad that we are together and that you allowed me to pick the red color for our vows or for our marriage. I don't even remember my own vows. Do I remember my own vows? No, I don't. My wedding, I've talked about this before. It was a little bit weird. Um, when you get married on a cruise ship like I did, you don't know when you're gonna get married, like what time of the day you're gonna get married, or necessarily what room you'll be married in. That's all sort of left to the last minute, and the wedding planner on the cruise ship does all of deals with all of that. But in order to make sure that the wedding goes off sort of not fucked up is everybody does a rehearsal except for the bride, because the bride is already wearing her wedding dress. You have to show up wearing your wedding dress. And so it would sort of ruin it if the bride also was there for the rehearsal. So literally, I stood in the cabin, my cruise ship cabin, by myself, waiting for this rehearsal to be done. Oh, she's crying. And she needs to? Okay. Uh, I was waiting for the rehearsal to be done. I was sort of walking around by myself, freaking out a little bit. And of course, they had put like rose petals in the room, and I stood on them and I got red on my dress. And so I spent approximately 10 minutes of that rehearsal time washing my dress in a bathroom sink on the cruise ship by myself, hoping that the red stain would come out. Um, Hector, no, the captain did not marry me because, like I said, I had to go 3 days in advance to get a marriage license from Galveston, because cruise ships don't have a jurisdiction within which to issue a marriage license. So while you can go on a cruise and have your marriage vows renewed by a captain at sea, if you want to get married on a ship, you have to do so um, in a port of call where there's a jurisdiction to issue the marriage license. For some reason, Carnival Cruise Lines doesn't issue marriage licenses. Um, but uh yeah, so that's why you can't. It seems cool to like get married at sea, but in reality there isn't a way for you to legally have your marriage recognized if the captain is the one that did it. Of course he's vertically recording it, right? um you could, I mean, yeah, you can. That's true. That's a honeybee true. Okay. Oh, he may now kiss the bride. Everybody clap. Oh, she looks so happy. Oh, I'm so happy for them. Anybody want to take the over under on 2 years? 2 years over under? Anyone? Anyone? Um, that was sweet. That was sweet. No audio. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. Yeah. I don't know. MB's going for, oh, the video ended. I was like, ah, what happened? MB's gonna go with the over. Mikey could marry me. He's an officiant. Uh, I thought it was Creed that was the officiant. Who knows? One day I may get married again. Oh, the roommate's home. I think we could be optimistic today, but let's say this. We're about to watch Miss Donna. Oh yeah, Donna can marry me. Hi. Also, congratulations to Owen, Donna's grandson, for graduating high school. Yay! I saw his picture. He looks amazing. Good job, Owen. Um, we'll see if I get bombarded with men coming. That sounded terrible. That sounded terrible, Donna, but thank you. Oh my gosh. Do, 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 do. Congratulations again to Owen. Congratulations mostly to Donna and her son for working really hard and helping Owen and making him such a nice young gentleman. Um, I hope Courtney's doing okay. By the way, I saw that her power went out. I don't know why the power goes out so much down there, but thank you again, Miss Donna, and yay, Owen. It is such a big deal when a kid graduates from high school. I really do think we should celebrate it, and I am super proud. Um, oh, he signed up to be a firefighter. Oh my gosh. Wow. Great. That's awesome. That is great. So Amazing. What a brave fellow. That's great. Love it. Okay. So hold on. I'm gonna create frame here, but we have a lot of bad divorces to go over today, you guys. I apologize. Um, it is in Huron County where the judge uses the remote control to move the camera. So get ready for that. There is audio. Woo. Oh my god. Did we just go 30 minutes of me just talking over a silent video? We did, Paisley. We did indeed. Okay. Um, wow, time flies when you're having fun. Actually, it really does. Okay. Give me 1 second. Well, they may not be divorces music. They may just be anger. I don't know. You know, he did. This is the courtroom where the lady lied. Yeah, I froze up. It's because I was adding the video, Rebecca. I looked asleep. Oh, that's a terrible look. Actually, you ever like slept the creepy shot of my shoulder? Ooh. Um, you ever like I'm sure this is just gonna be me and being weird, but like been awake but made yourself look really cute while you were sleeping in hopes that the person that was sleeping in the bed with you looked over and was like, "Oh my god, they are so amazing." Just me? Okay. Just me. Um,
Truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you guys.
Thank you, Your Honor. The parties have joint legal custody with plaintiff having physical custody pursuant to parenting time order from August 5th, 2022. The parties have, or Mr. McLean has alternate weekends from Friday to Sunday at times mutually agreed between the parties. So there's no set times for the exchanges, just as they agree. We were last before the court for a show cause regarding communication back in October 2022, in which Mr. McLean was found in contempt and sanctioned the $250 fine. The show cause that was brought forward on the complaint from Mr. McLean is that for the weekend of April 26th to April 29th, he's been denied his parenting time. My understanding is there's issues with the child's sports. And if he is getting his parenting time on this weekend, it's not on Friday, it's either super late Friday or it's the next day on Saturday due to the sports. But the show cause kind of also ties into, I believe, Ms. Anchor's parenting time motion today as well.
Okay, so as I understand it, the parenting time it's not concrete, or is it always alternate?
It's alternate weekends. It was a phased schedule. And the last phase is that Mr. McLean would have alternate weekend from Friday to Sunday at times mutually agreed by the parties. There was no set times.
No set time, but at least it's supposed to occur.
Correct.
I see. Okay.
And part of it as well, from responses that we've received from Ms. Anchor is that there's never, I shouldn't say never, there's hardly communication regarding a time or discussion regarding a time for Friday to Sunday.
here's the one thing I'll say though. One thing I will say that I've had men in my life who I would want to be like, you know, I would want to say, "Oh, you look so beautiful." But the times when they say that are the times that I maybe didn't feel the most beautiful, but in fact, those are the times when it means the most when you do have drool down your face or your hair's all messed up or any of that. And then they say it, oh, melts your heart. You just die a little bit inside. Oh, attention is a hell of a drug, isn't it?
Monday. That is this reclaim saying this is when I'm getting it. This is the time I'm getting. She says I never agreed to that. An argument ensues, and then if he is getting his parenting time, it's later than Friday or sometime on Saturday.
And the show cause regarding contempt is the communication issue.
No, that was the last time we were here. I actually believe this was a notice of denied parenting time for the weekend of April 26th to 28th.
Okay, because the document said.
Yes, I know the docket says show cause, but I was looking at the file, Your Honor, that we had filed. There was a notice of hearing for denied parenting time scheduled for today for that weekend.
So that's what we're here for.
No, Ms. Anger also has a parenting time motion.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Ms. Anger, what's going on here?
So I did not deny him time that weekend. He refused to set a time with me. I have other kids. We've never had a set time because of his work or whether he's had a vehicle. It's not just on my end, it goes on both ends. Especially when he used to get his other son, like we've always worked on time together, but once in a while he gets in the stiff that if I don't do what he says, then I'm going against the court. And I'm like, no, 5 o'clock did not work for me that day. He refused to get a hold of me. He said on that Wednesday, he's like, nope, you are at 5 o'clock. If you're not there at 5, you'll get it. You'll be in contempt. You'll do this. I'm like, 5 o'clock don't work for me. I have my other kids. They have practices. That does not work. He refused to work with me on that time. And then he didn't get a hold of me the rest of the weekend. It is not my job to get a hold of him continuously and go, well, when are we meeting? When are we doing this? When are we doing that? When are we doing that? I've even been told by this court at times that it is not my job to make sure he's a dad.
Yeah, this is super petty. Well, this is the dichotomy between the brand new budding love that we saw just moments ago, getting married in the courthouse. And then this. So did we watch this lady before? I don't remember. Again, I'm sure I still have the source video downloaded on my computer somewhere. And thankfully this judge names everything really well. Although I will say, like, he left up a bunch of videos today, then he deleted a bunch of videos, but I had already got them, so I hope they were spicy. But again, this is seriously the absolute dichotomy between get that marriage, that love, that joy, and now these people can't fucking agree enough to handle this organization, which is just, it screams problematic to me. Is this the one that was the liar to the judge? Hi, Courtney. I was worried about you earlier because I know the power is off. How are you doing? Hold on, guys. I'm going to play this. I see somebody at my door.
So what's this business of the birthday?
He already had his phone call. He gets one phone call and we do it through Zoom a week. He already had that on Wednesday, which the Wednesday at whatever time is convenient for him. He already had it on that Wednesday. And any other, the phone call during the week is whatever time works for us, whatever day, whatever time, because we both work, we both have schedules. It's on Wednesdays because that's what works. So he did have that. He asked if he could talk to him on that Saturday on his birthday. I said yes, but I was at my oldest JV softball game and we had a birthday party. So as soon as we got home, I mean, we had extra kids, we had other adults there. I mean, my husband was there and ended up talking to Chris himself because I was not dealing with that. As soon as he got on the phone, you could tell he was under the influence. There was I mean, we can set another date and I can have witnesses. There was other adults there that were like, was he drinking? Because he was slurring his words. He was irritated right away because I wouldn't do the Zoom call as soon as he wanted me to. I told him I would get a hold of him. I wasn't lying, you know, we were busy. We had multiple children there and multiple people. We were doing a birthday party. Z did want to talk to him, but as soon as I realized he was under the influence on the phone with the slurring and that right away, no. I'm not subjecting an 8-year-old to talking to somebody while they're under the influence. I don't care who they are. So, and it was constant physical, it turned into physical threats towards me and my husband. And this is, I mean, we've been, like he said, we've been in here before, in 2022. This has been going on for 8 years. It doesn't.
See, it sounds like they weren't here since 2022. Also, would it be physical threats or would it be threats of physical violence? I'm just being picky, but I don't know. Like, did he physically? I don't get that. I don't get that.
Stop. So I guess I'm gonna have to call the cops every single time it happens. But I had police officer at my house twice during a birthday party. He really had to do that during an 8-year-old's birthday party.
So what are you proposing regarding parenting time?
The drinking has got to stop. There needs to be something that he is. I have a child with him. I was with this man. I do know him. The drinking, he doesn't see it as an issue.
Right, but didn't you state that you want to just have one day?
He can, if he can't, I don't take his time. He has offered, okay, if he has that game, he moved closer in the parenting app. He stated himself, he moved closer to be at school functions, to be at sport. He's been to 2 football games last year.
You didn't answer my question. Because it's Friday. And these aren't overnight, are they? They are overnight.
Yes, yeah.
They turned to
Full weekend,
overnight.
That's Friday to Sunday.
Okay, so your motion said that you just wanted to have one day.
Yeah, he needs to just have one day. If he can't, how can I make sure my son is safe if he can't even call him on his birthday without drinking at 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
And that's what the show cause is for. Because the show cause that I have here is against Mr. McLean and dated by you, Mr. Holwick, on May 9th. And then the email you received from Ms. Hanger. And then the conversations are attached afterward. That's what I said.
Yes, that's what I sent in first.
Wow.
It was notice for the issue of parenting time. It was not, consent was not requested based on the notice that we have.
That's not what my file shows.
I got 3 different ones at home.
Already in my file. Then attached is email. Attached is this.
You have this.
Are you aware of this?
Yeah, oh yeah, that looks familiar, yes.
Okay, so we have the show cause for the notice of hearing, alleged denied parenting time for weekend of May 26th to May 29th, and issues regarding the minor sports. Who is to have the child between May 26th and 29th?
May 26th and 29th, that's during the week.
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. It says alleged denied parenting time for the weekend of May 26, 2024 to May 29.
Yeah, that should have been April. That was a typo on my end.
Oh,
Yes, I caught that this morning.
oh, now I see.
But the show cause though, I don't have the responses, but that's not.
Okay. Okay, so now I've got it. And father was supposed to have a child on April 26th to the 29th.
Yes, I haven't seen him since the beginning of March.
Okay. What's going on?
Well, I asked her I don't have a problem with sports, but choose one or the other, hockey or football, because each sport is about 3 months long. Well, if he's in both, you're taking 3 weekends out of me. All right? So from Friday until Sunday, I'm supposed to get him every other weekend. Well, I compromised with her and told her, I said, one sport or the other. I'll come out and see him. So I did with the hockey. Well, he got done with the hockey, well, then she put him in football. Well, since January, I've been arguing with her about that. They're taking my weekends again. Well, she doesn't care. Then she told me through AFCOs that she didn't have to listen to that because the child lives with her.
My weekends, buddy, if your kid is interested in playing sports, let me tell you right now, take fucking advantage of that and nurture it. Go there. Like, it is frustrating to me because what else would you have him be doing? Like, I don't get this. Um, uh, I don't like it. I don't like it. He's 8 years old. It's great that he's in sports. Sounds like she's paying for them too. So again, like all we're hearing here from both of these parents, both of them, sad sacks of parents, allegedly, is me, I, me. Hi. Thank you. 6 months. That's fucking nuts. Can't believe it's been 6 months. But seriously, exactly. Like, go to the games, take them out, do all these things. The kid comes first. And this is bothersome. It's bothersome. I know, I sound insane, don't I? Are you suggesting that they support their child? I certainly am.
The courts told her that. This is why this has all been going.
You understand, the parties can't agree regarding extracurriculars in general. That is joint legal custody. The court could just say, okay, someone needs to have sole legal custody so we don't have the issue. Both sides. How old is the child again?
8.
8.
And we have 4 other ones that are still at home. All the kids are in sports. It's not an issue with my ex-husband and his kids. It's not an issue with our girls. Like Z asked, why can't my dad be there? All the other kids' parents are there.
Well,
It's all the other ones do it. Why would we deny our youngest to do sports just because somebody doesn't want to take him to it every other weekend? It's not even regular. He doesn't take him to practice. All he has to do is take him to one game every other weekend. It's not about him. It's about Z. Why can't he do that and support him?
So why did the child go to dad April 26th or April 29th?
Because he set a time that didn't work for me and refused to work with me on a time. He went all by himself at 5 o'clock that day and didn't reach out to me the rest of the weekend.
That's another thing. 5 o'clock.
Just a second. I heard 5 o'clock. We don't have a time, do we, in the order?
No, it's always been
Why can't we get a time?
because both of us work. There's a time he didn't even have a vehicle.
No, I just want to know.
We don't have a
Can we get a
time.
time now?
Please. It's been 5 o'clock for years. 5 o'clock on Friday to pick up, 5 o'clock on Sunday to drop off.
If that works.
Does
But
that
it's
work?
been that way for years.
I
That
understand.
works for me.
Is that the time you're proposing?
It doesn't always work for you though either. So if
No,
you can't,
Time out. One at a time.
Yeah,
I'm asking for a time. Is 5 o'clock the time that works for you?
I can do 5 all the way up till 7 o'clock. Doesn't matter. So 5 o'clock, I can set it in stone. 6 o'clock, I can set it in stone. 7 o'clock, I can set it in stone. Don't matter to me. But it's been 5 o'clock for years.
why couldn't we set a time that the
I tried
26th?
it. You guys have,
No, I'm trying to set a time now. 5, 6, or 7?
7 would work with us in case we have sports.
7 work for you?
yes, sir.
7 o'clock it is. 7 PM is pickup and drop off time. And regarding that, because there is no time that is placed in the order, I can't hold someone in contempt for violation if you cannot mutually agree on a time. Now we have a time, so there's no excuse for it. Okay, that issue's done. Here's the issue I have. I read these messages you sent.
Break point.
I don't care if it's breaking point.
That's what I did on a normal.
Then, miss, please, I'm speaking here to Mr. McLean. Jennifer, I have the right to tell you to F off. I'm dad.
Yeah, because I've literally been,
Oh my God, Judge is reading it aloud. He said, Jennifer, I have the right to tell you to F off. I bet he said fuck. Also, this is on Friday after school. Sunday 7 is a little bit late, but I think that's enough time for yeah, I think dinner should be done on a Sunday. Maybe not the bath, but definitely dinner done on a Sunday if they're getting dropped off at 7. For an 8-year-old, yeah. But no, the judge does not like that talk. No, 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 no. Ay caramba, Courtney.
cast it out for months, for 6 months. My opinions don't matter. Nothing matters. It's like, I can't keep doing this. I'm halfway tempted to just walk away. I don't want to be that guy. I'm a good father. I wouldn't be sitting in front of you if I wasn't.
Sorry, a good father would never even threaten to walk away from his kids. Hot take. Hot take. A good father would not even threaten it. I get it that mom is not being helpful here. Her tone of voice, not helpful. Her words, not helpful. Her actions, not helpful. But he got to be the bigger man. He has to be. Because if he came to this without these angry texts and with it just him trying and her not, that works against her. And it sucks that sometimes you have to be the bigger person, but sometimes you gotta be that bigger person. And guess what? Kids figure that out later on when they grow up and they look back on their life and they think about, oh, like I remember when I was younger, specifically, and I'm sure this isn't the story, but the story in my mind was something to do with my dad going on vacation and my mom was so mad about it, so livid that he was going on vacation. And after that, there was a big fight about when we got to go over there. And I still remember, and I just like think to myself now, like, be the bigger person. I've never once done that with my daughter. My ex-husband was mean to me, very mean to me when we first split up. I was the one that chose to leave. He told me to get hit by a bus. I hope you get cancer. I hope you die. Terrible, terrible things that you should never say to anybody, much less the mother of your child. But I didn't respond. I didn't. I'm amazed, but I didn't. And I also never brought that negativity to our daughter, you know? That's just not fair to her. I am the bigger person, so I had to be the bigger person. Still are sometimes, right? And I know that my daughter will struggle in life to come up with a time when I badmouthed her dad. Like I joke, but believe me, she's not going to be able to talk about me bashing her dad. I remember that from when I was a kid and my mom bashed my dad, and my dad's a really good guy. So I just implore parents as they're going through these kinds of things, please remember that your children, um, they remember that. And my daughter already has 2 half siblings, Hector. Her dad has just had a baby Boxing Day or the day after Christmas. And he also has like a 3-year-old, 3 and a half. he was a busy boy after we broke up.
Well, you wouldn't be here fighting for your rights to have your child too. I get that. So I find no reason or justification for what you put in those messages. And I'm also going to order relative to parenting time that fathers not to consume alcohol 8 hours prior to or during the parenting time. No illegal controlled substances, only prescribed substances as ordered by the doctor. Very simple. But regarding reading, I'm not going to read any further into these messages because they're just awful. I'm holding you in contempt for violation of court order relative to the communication. Is there anything you'd like to say at this time before I impose this position?
It's just, well, so much you can take before you break.
I get it.
I'm just trying to fight
But
for my right, for what's on the court order.
If you want to break, go outside and yell and scream. Don't do it this way. Because on the flip side, there's always a chance that the child can see this too. Has he been held in contempt for this type of matter?
Yes, Your Honor. We were last here in October 28, 2022.
It was a 250, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Well, an alternative is jail. You don't want to do that, sir, do you?
No, sir, I lose my job.
Right. If it happens again, it's jail, $250 due to the front of the court by June 7th. Go ahead.
So is there a way we can tell if he's drinking or not? Because in all honesty, you cannot tell when he's drinking.
I know, Judge. I know. The way that we handle this is this. If you want him tested, you pay for the test. You request the test. You pay for the test. If the test comes back positive and he has been drinking in contravention to the court order, then he is responsible for the reimbursement of the cost of the test. But yeah, absolutely, there's a way to handle this. But it can't just be willy-nilly, I think he's drunk. The judge is warning him because he communicated inappropriately with her via text message, and he's already been held in contempt once before, was fined $250 in October 2022, and is now being held in contempt again for the same thing. And she did just say she knew he was drunk, but I don't think that it's appropriate to leave the defining somebody's drunkenness on the other parent. I think it's appropriate to say, you can request the test. Here's how we go through these tests. You can do a breathalyzer, you can do all those different things, but the cost, I think the fairness of the cost sharing, it's important for the person requesting the test to pay for that test up front, because otherwise you could really utilize that to stymie a relationship. Let's say if somebody didn't have the money necessarily. So I think that that's the proper way to go about it. Pardon me, the proper way to go about this. Let's see what the judge thinks.
You don't know when he is, and I'm not gonna keep putting my kid at that risk. If he can do that for a birthday party and he can do that at other times because he feels like it, I don't trust him for many reasons, and those reasons are because of his own actions.
The court order is the court order. You have to
That's what
follow
the court order was last time too.
And if he's found to be in violation of it, he's been warned next time he goes to jail. That's how we do it. I can't have a policeman at the door. I can't have the deputy come in and just submit a PBT at a moment's notice. If I could, I would. That's how we have to do it.
Okay, so if I go to pick him up or drop him off and I suspect it, I have that right to call?
You have the right to do anything you wish
Okay.
within proper legal authority. You're both free to go.
While that is true, Wendy, this court order has just specifically not allowed him to drink alcohol 8 hours prior or during time with the child. So there is, there's precedent for making legal things restricted for people based on court orders. Marijuana in legal states alcohol is a very good example of that. Oftentimes of bond conditions or different court orders, they will say to things like, "Oh, you're not um able to drink alcohol, you're not able to, you know, XYZ." She may, Rebecca. I think she's treading a very thin line. And I think that he needs to control his anger. But if he was able to do that, and she basically just willfully said in court she doesn't want to follow the court order, um, he he just needs to keep his cool, and the court order is going to give him parenting time. But you know, what kind of pizza did you have, and what kind of wings, Fuzzy? We are wondering. Also, yeah, a roadside breathalyzer. I mean, I don't know what the legalities of those are. I I don't know. I don't know. Um, I know, like, for example, CPS have oral swab tests that are less stringent in terms of their reliability for visit purposes. So if a parent is suspected of using other drugs, I usually think that's meth though, but it's possible for weed. And they come to a visit, they're given an oral swab ahead of time. Again, it's not detecting levels, but it will alert to the presence of that. And that's something that is a possibility, I imagine. Um, okay, we got time for one more. One more before it's time. I'm gonna create frame again when I do this, so be prepared. Did somebody also here say that they made mozzarella? Did we talk about that before? And somebody was talking about mozzarella. I would like to make mozzarella. I think you need whole milk to make it. Um, ooh, half pet, half hamburger. Okay. Buffalo mild wings. Okay. Okay, okay. Uh, yeah, I would like to make mozzarella because I want to make homemade pizza. I'm really hungry, you guys. I didn't eat anything all day today. Thank you, caffeine pills. I just looked over them. Um, but just like my ADHD meds, when they wear off, god damn it, you get hungry as so we'll see. I think I'm gonna make that really delicious corn for dinner tonight, and we'll see. I might cook myself a burger if those guys are off the deck. Um, are there dairy cows on Vancouver Island? Yes. Yes, there are many. We have a lot of animals. Um, yes, we have dairy cows. I laugh because my ex-husband was a milkman and worked for a very large dairy here. So yes, there are absolutely dairy cows. Um, yes. That actually says it. They say that at like a lot of the different airports. I've traveled throughout the United States and Canada quite a bit, both before legalization and after. And they say that really clearly. They're like, yo, even though it's safe in Canada, you cannot bring it across the border. And then the other thing is, certain airports. So, like, for example, the Toronto airport doesn't have a place to smoke weed in fact, it's actually, you're not allowed to smoke weed at the Toronto airport. I looked into it. I was trying to follow the rules. I had a long layover. I wanted to smoke weed because I was going to the States where I wasn't going to be smoking weed. And I looked all over. I did end up finding a place where I went and was out of the way, but I looked, and the policy is that they don't allow it. But for example, at the Vancouver airport, they actually have designated weed smoking areas, which I love. Same thing goes in different, they have disposal garbage bins for drugs now at a lot of airports where you can dispose of them ahead of time before you get in trouble. He did not deliver the milk. He moved milk around in the freezer or the fridge. But he never delivered the milk. You don't need to get into all of his failings, but he tried to become a truck driver for a while, but he could not pass the air brakes test. That was $3,000. Oh, and the weed, sorry, just to be clear, I'm talking about an area outside, like a smoking area, like where you would go smoke cigarettes. There's nothing comfortable, nothing nice. It just has like a weed leaf and like a green circle around it that tells you that you can smoke weed there. But it's not like inside, it's not comfortable, and it's not provided, like it's literally just like this is the designated area for smoking your marijuana. Yeah, they have those. I know. I always wondered who would watch. Well, I mean, wouldn't you be watching that if you were the cops? Anyways, come on, Paisley, hit play. We gotta hit play.
17-206-1160M. This is notice of hearing regarding alleged denied parenting time. Parties are present. Ms. Howard's in the courtroom. Mr. Gervin appears via the Zoom application. Would you both please raise your right hands?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this case is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do. Okay.
Yes.
Can I hear from the front of the court?
Yes, Your Honor. Currently, Mr. Durbin has alternating weekends with.
Hold on, folks. But that's a siren. Nobody seems concerned there. Also, yeah, Fozzie. The statute of limitations is on this, so I'm not going to talk about it, but let's just say sometimes when you travel and you think your purse is empty of all illegal drugs, and then when you've landed and you've gone through multiple securities, and then you reach into your purse to get something else and you pull out something that's illegal, you're like a little concerned. You're confused. A better story, the sort of same story, is right after 9/11, when things got pretty strict about airports, we flew to Disneyland. We flew from Victoria to Vancouver, Vancouver to LA, and then came back. LA to Vancouver, and then we were supposed to go Vancouver to Victoria. We went through international customs and security, obviously, in the LAX airport. My Nana at the time, I guess, I don't know what she'd done, but she had packed a snack bag or a cooler bag of food for us to eat. And as we were coming through Vancouver, she got pulled aside. And everyone was sort of like, what's going on? You know? Apparently there was a knife in the bag for cutting like cheese or cutting something, quite a sharp knife. But they were freaking out. They were like, whoa, 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 how did you fly with this? And we were like, I don't know. We just went through LAX airport. Like they let us go through, no problem. But in Vancouver, they were very strict about it and they made her throw it away. And she was very mad about it. Nana was a knife mule. Maybe that explains her 6-month trips to Mexico.
Mine is spelled AJE. We have received a denied parent time complaint for the weekends of February 16th to February 18th with HAD, as well as March 1st to March 3rd with HAD. Notices were sent, 21-day alleged denial was sent to Ms. Howard for the February dates on February 27th and for the March dates on March 4th. Ms. Howard did respond timely to those complaints, stating that the minor child HAD had an in-camera meeting with the court in front of the court back in December of 2022, that the minor child is not wanting to go to Mr. Howard's or Mr. Durbin's, that alleged Mr. Durbin has told the minor child not to come to parenting time, that there's been physical altercations in the past, and that the minor child has not had parenting time, or that Mr. Durbin has not exercised his parenting time in over a year and a half with the minor child, since December when the in-camera interview had happened. So it was set for notice of hearing, Your Honor. We have not received denied parent time complaints since then, and we didn't receive them before. So the notice of hearing for alleged denied parent time was set for today, due to the allegations of denied parent time, as well as that parent time hasn't been exercised in over a year.
Who's objecting?
There's no objection, Your Honor. Her response came in timely to the denied parent time complaints, and her response was he doesn't want to go, and it's told him he's not coming, as well as dad hasn't had parenting time in over a year and a half since December of 2022.
So what's the question?
It's for judicial determination if the denial is valid or not, given that he allegedly has not had seen the child in over a year.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Before I go to Dad, Mom, what is the story regarding the parenting time over this time frame?
Alex, or sorry, the child does not want to go to his father's due to altercations between the two of them. They do speak occasionally through messenger. Their father likes to message them while he's at school and stuff like that. Sometimes he responds, sometimes he doesn't. Currently, in May, their great grandfather died. They did see their father at the memorial. My daughter's birthday party was on a day that they had a softball game. So I did invite Robert to come. I did not tell my children, the older two children, that their father was coming. So he did get to see his two children. They didn't engage with their father, but you know, they were still there. At the memorial, they did engage a little bit. I do my part that I'm supposed to encourage my children to go, but they do not want to go. Well, the said child, the other one just graduated, so his should be done.
But what I'm wondering about is there was a statement by Mr. Holwick that the child hasn't been seen in over a year.
Since that child spoke with you in your quarters, that was the last time
In
that,
December of 22.
yep. He refuses to go and I can't physically put him in a car and make him go.
It's one thing about refusing to go, but did Dad request the time?
Yes.
He's asked.
I'm sorry?
He was asked on he has said, you know, because we can only put about pick up and drop off. Like he'll be there at 6 to pick up kid A and kid A, because it's both A's. But the oldest does not go.
I get that, but maybe you don't understand my question. Is Dad requesting the parenting time of HAD
Yes,
every time?
not every time, no. Just whenever he feels like it, he will say something about it, or, you know, occasionally he'll throw in something here with the court and we'll have to come in front of you.
How old's HAD?
17, gonna be 18 in March. He has 3 credits left for high school next year. He'll be done in November.
Okay. Mr. Durbin, your response.
When the last time we were with you guys, we were told to do the high risk co-parenting classes. And in those classes, it says, you know, not to alienate the other parent and stuff. And that's exactly what's going on. And she said she can't legally coerce Alex into going to my house but that would entail, she would have to actually try to get them, like, have a normal conversation, like, and treat me like a normal human being. And I haven't seen my son, and I haven't, and every time I do petition, I usually get in more trouble. So I'm really terrified of the courts because I just want to have my kids, but I get uh bullied out of the courtroom usually. And I just,
Bullied.
we're supposed to follow the rules, and I'm the only one that has to, or you know what I mean?
Actually, you're not the only one that has to follow rules. Fozzie in Texas following rules, gifting memberships. Thank you so much, Fozzie. First of all, thank you, thank you, thank you. Do do do. I feel bad for this guy. Also, Lisa B asked a question about why would you smell weed? And no, you can't smell the weed in dispensaries here in Canada. You can't see it. In fact, it comes in a package like this. It's black, it's sealed. It'll have information on it in terms of what the product supposedly is, but you can't smell it. You are not even allowed to touch it. Although I have convinced them nowadays to let me manhandle the bag from the outside to see the size and sort of the squishiness of the buds. But the reason that you would smell marijuana is because of the terpenes within it. So terpenes are the things that give us the smell and the taste, the flavor of different things. And terpenes aren't unique to marijuana. In fact, they occur in everything. So for example, in a mango, there's myrcene, I think it is. Limonene is another terpene that's well known. And so when I used to manage a dispensary pre-legalization, we kept all of our weed in large jars. We went through it very fast, so you could it wasn't like it was sitting in jars all the time. But how we would do it, if people would come in and they didn't know what they wanted, one of my absolute beginning sort of moves as the manager was, okay, well, let's start smelling them. I pull off some off a jar and, passing it around to people to smell. And the reason is because if you go and smell something and you go, I don't know. Or like, let's say I don't like the cheese smell of weed. I don't like it when it smells like bread. I don't like it when it smells like lemon. I don't like it when it smells like skunk. Each of those is actually related to a terpene. And your body, weirdly enough, knows about what terpenes you need. And so it's just a really natural way to go ahead and follow your nose in a way. Because what you'll find is that those terpenes are what gives the weed the strain effects. So it's what makes you giggle, or what makes you hungry, or what makes you tired. Those are not caused by THC, which is the psychoactive component of marijuana. Those are caused by terpenes, which is, again, the flavor of marijuana. Now, terpenes, the one thing to be careful about with those, and then I'll stop talking, is be careful if especially in a pen, if it's a very strong fruity flavor for the most part, ask them this at the dispensary. Say, are these food grade terpenes or are these marijuana terpenes? And if they are food grade terpenes, what that means is they've been evaluated for eating. So they're the types of things that they put into foods to flavor, but they really haven't been looked at in terms of inhaling. And so I would steer very clear from food grade terpenes. But marijuana terpenes are very expensive to buy on their own. I've told you guys this before. I bought a 0.25 of a milliliter, literally 1/4 milliliter of a terpene once, and it cost me $50. So they're very, very valuable. Okay, let's finish this off.
Well, so how did sorry to hear the passing of a family member, but how did the meet go when you saw your son?
I talked to Alex. I message him all the time, and everything's
No, I'm talking about the
perfectly
visit.
it was calm and normal.
Okay. Did you get the sense, I'm not asking what the child said, but did you get the sense that your son didn't want to be around you?
No,
The February dates that we talked about,
I'm sorry, Your Honor. And if I, you know, if I made a complaint every time he didn't show up, I would be tied up with you guys a lot, and I have to go to work, and just like today, I was hoping that, she could do the show cause for not letting or not having Alex come with me, but I was told I had to appear, and that's why I'm on Zoom today. But
Right.
if I'd be spending a lot of time making complaints so people could explain why
Yeah, that's what you would do, Dad. And it would very quickly get old and the court would do something about it.
I shouldn't have my son.
okay, so you said you do communicate with HAD, whether texting or Zoom or FaceTime, anything like that?
Just Facebook Messenger.
Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, just chats here and there, just to tell him I love him and tell him I'm thinking of him.
Does he respond?
Sometimes.
Have you ever posed a question to him, would you like to go fishing?
Yeah.
You've done that?
Yeah.
When was the last time you did that? As an example.
A couple weeks ago, or I think maybe it was last week, I told him that we should go fishing or go disc golfing.
Did he have any response?
No.
And he's 17. That's the issue too.
Sure. And he lets me know when his father messages
Well,
him and everything.
he's
And I
been,
tried.
before he moved out, he started going back to his mom's, and he started bringing home like weed paraphernalia and stuff, and I didn't like it, and I told him he couldn't go to his friends anymore. And that weekend he snuck out of the house. His mom picked him up, and he said he'd never talk to me again because I wouldn't let him go hang out at a friend's house. And that was I said no, and now I haven't talked to him for 2 years.
That's also a lie, Your Honor.
No, it is
Okay.
not.
We don't need to go back and forth here. So when's the last time, sir, other than the funeral, that you've seen the child?
Addison's birthday.
When's that?
Sorry, my daughter's birthday. It was about a month before that.
Oh, it's May 9th. And May 18th, you see them.
Just a moment, because I'm asking him, I'm not asking you. Do you have a date, sir, when the last time you had seen the child other than the?
I can look on app close real quick to figure out the exact date.
Okay.
App Close, at least they're using that. That's a free app
Sorry, just bear with me.
of
You're
Our
fine.
Family Wizard. We're bearing with you, buddy, but I am on a time frame here, Judge. So I'm not gonna pause it. Yeah, and the son will resent the
Yeah,
mom.
it was May 7th.
Okay. Anything else before I go back to Ms. Howard?
I filed the motion just so we could get, just so I could figure out when I can get parenting time again with my son. It wasn't anything like he said, she said, like drama stuff. Everything's been really calm, even between me and Miss Howard. And the whole thing is,
When would be your alternate weekend? Would it be this weekend?
it'd be next weekend.
Okay. Next weekend.
That's all.
turn?
Yes.
Okay, he did see the children on May 9th. I did not let my boys know that their dad was coming on purpose, so that way he could see his children, because otherwise they would not have came. And he did get to see his children. They sat in the car, and at the end of the game, we sang happy birthday with a cake with him, his girlfriend, his mother, his grandmother, me.
I'm
my
sorry,
boy-
Your Honor, is this relevant?
Other two children, so he did get to see his.
It is
children.
relevant to figure out what we need to do here moving forward.
He did get to see his children. Before his grandfather died, we went to his grandmother's, the alleged
Okay.
child right
I
now.
need to cut to the chase here, Ms. Howard. What do you do to encourage a positive relationship between dad and son?
Everything I can. Basically, I try to get them to go with their dad. I have no issues with the other children. The other one is 18. He hasn't been to his dad in 3 years. They had a physical altercation. There is a police report with Stanley
I
County.
want- no,
That's the
I want-
only
you're-
reason that this
you're-
even
You're not
started.
answering my question, Ms. Howard. What do you do to encourage a positive relationship?
I tell him he only has one dad, and you can't take that back. Take it
So
away, got it.
if your son hypothetically says, well, I just don't want to see dad, what do you say in response?
I said, you only have one dad. You won't have him forever. I lost my dad, so it's important for me, for my kids to see their father and to see their mother both.
Okay, it's one thing to say you have one dad, but what are you doing to encourage him to go see his?
I try to get him to go, but he refuses to go.
How do you encourage him?
I tell him, you have to go to your dad's this weekend, and he refuses to go.
Have you ever said, I want you to go to your dad
Yes.
this weekend?
Yes, and I, basically, the one time that him and the other oldest child went, it was a total disaster.
Would it be best if I meet with the child again?
Yes,
Sir, what do you think about that?
Why don't you meet with my daughter to see how things really are instead of trying to alienate me further?
she's not the child.
Why would the court try to alienate your son from you?
Because he's mad at me and he says whatever he can to get out of doing whatever he wants.
Well, if it's not worth it, it's not worth it, but dad's entitled to parenting time. There's no question about that. There has to be a showing that mom is trying to circumvent this. The problem is when you have a 17-year-old who's under, the court order applies to the parents, it doesn't apply to the child. I can't court order that son has to go to dad's house. In other words, and if son fails to do so, son could be held in contempt. The only other way around that is to file a delinquency petition that the son is not following the reasonable rules at home, which is a wholly different matter. So regarding the parenting time, at this point, it is to continue. Regarding the denied parenting time that's been involved in this case, it sounds like there's animus between Mr. Durbin and the child relative to dad being a dad and trying to discipline the child, which is understandable for dad trying to discipline. But when you have a 17-year-old who appears to be very headstrong, you're only limited as to what you can do. I will require mom to not only strongly encourage, but strongly encourage this for the parenting time. And,
Sorry.
well, what was that, sir?
Or maybe ground him if he doesn't, like give him another option, not say, oh, you can't, you're not going, or you have to go, and then nothing else.
Well, the parties have joint legal custody, so they have equal decision-making power. Mom, what do you say about that?
He has had that ultimatum, and it doesn't matter. He doesn't care. He'd rather have everything taken away. He does not want to go. There's physical altercations.
So be it. So be it.
Reason that I don't physically try to force the child in a car is, for one, he's
No, I
17
can't.
years old and I can't do that. Two, because why am I going to put a child in a situation where there could be further altercations?
I will
That's
require,
speculation.
I will require mom to encourage and strongly encourage, and I don't care if you videotape it. Have video coverage of it, and then if it comes back, we can be, because I'm not seeing anything from mom other than maybe a disagreement between mom and dad is if you don't do something, then you're going to get disciplined for it. Ms. Howard saying she did do that, and that didn't even work. So I can't find mom did something to thwart the parenting time. It's the bill. I don't have jurisdiction over the young man,
I apologize because I have been trying.
but I'm going to force you to try even harder. And if you fail to do so and it can be shown, then you can be held in contempt. There's nothing else I can do.
So should I videotape on Fridays when he's supposed to go?
I think that'd be a wise idea. I think that'd be a wise idea, and maybe it puts son on notice to say, look, now a judge is going to see this.
Could we do another where he comes in and speaks to you personally? Of what the real issue is, so it's not between me and the father, you.
Only if dad
personally talk
agrees.
To this child.
Only
figure it
if
out.
dad agrees. He doesn't agree. Do the videotaping, that's all we can do.
Okay.
Show cause is dismissed. I can't force this child on his own.
Wow. That's a fucking crazy case. My goodness. You guys, thank you so much for being here. It felt like a quick one, but in fact, it's just the beginning. We'll have more to do tomorrow. I'll be live. And don't forget, we have members only on Sunday. Also, our Court Watchers Anonymous meeting. If you need me to sign your papers, I can do it. I've already set up the redirect to swim over to Colin. And I hope that you have a great time there. This is our last day to get to 2K before the end of May. I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, we're 21 short, but I appreciate each and every one of you. And remember that you're in the 2K club. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your evening. And remember that I love you. I am proud of you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.